Hey, Coach, how's it going? Obviously, less than a couple weeks out from the first game of the season. For you as a tight ends coach, how do you feel about where the room is at and how you're feeling about the guys you have ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, we feel really good about it. I think it's a really deep and talented room. Guys that have all pushed each other. I think they've all made each other better, going back to spring. Obviously having the returning, starters back with Shaman, all conference, and Harp, that experience, this is first time for me in 3 years having returners, so that's gone a long way. And then obviously adding Kamari into the mix, he's done a great job, adds a different element to our room. And then, the young buck, AJ, showed like again today, he does some special things that we can utilize. But I'm happy with our room. We still have room for development, but I think that's a testament to the talent we have, and they show up to work every day. That's why I feel good about where we're at. We're fresh, we're healthy. The fact that we don't have to lean on one guy to take 90% of the snaps. Last year, I think Shaman was on the field a lot of times when he was tired, and I think Harp's done a good job of earning the trust of our coordinator, our head coach, to know we can play him at any time. He's going to do the right thing. He's going to be physical. He can catch balls. Obviously adding Kamari to that too, it just gives us some more depth. I think we'll be able to not only be fresh, but then also get into some multiple personnel sets as well.
On that note, like you mentioned about having like the additional guys, what does that mean for you to be able to kind of dig and plug into different players with different skill sets, along with just like resting guys and getting energy?
It's huge. Like when you're scheming and you're looking to try to find mismatches, I think everybody has something that they do really well, and so we do a good job. I think Arroyo does a really good job of personnelling, getting guys into the best spot to be successful, taking advantage of matchups and things like that. I don't think the tight end position is any different. So, I think we can do a good job with our personnel usages, even when it's just one tight end on the field, making sure we have the right one in for the job that we're asking to do. But at the same time, we also do a lot of tempo, and I need to have any of our tight ends that are on the field should be able to do anything at a high level, and that's kind of how we prepare. We don't just train one guy to do one thing and another guy to do it. We train them all to do everything, and I think that's why we're having success right now, because I think we've got 3 guys for sure at the top right now that can get on the field and do anything we ask them to do at any given time, and then you can put them on the field together and they complement each other as well.
When you mentioned the returners and having guys that have come back for you, what does that do for you as a position coach to have guys that already know how you coach, know the style of the team, and are really integrated, that you don't have to teach a lot of the basics?
Yeah, well, it's like you have your example now. Like when you're teaching technique and you're teaching different things, like we're not just watching film of somebody else doing it, but like we're watching our guy do it. We're watching Shaman strike at the first level and get his trail hand tight and climb the block. Things like that, when we can watch our tape of it, and then Shaman can tell him, Shaman can pull Kamari aside and say, hey, think about this, try this. Sometimes, as a coach, you tell them your coaching points and the things that you want to do, but sometimes a player grabbing you and going, hey, this is what I'm looking for, just connects a little bit different. So having that experience in here and having that example, I think has gone a long way to get guys like Kamari and AJ up to speed.
And the Shaman, I'm assuming you've been really big into like kind of embracing that role of being a player who's going to be like a leader amongst the group for you guys as well.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things that we challenge him with is taking on a leadership role. I think he's done a great job within our room. I think it's time for him to really step outside our room too and take that leadership to the rest of the team. I think guys respond to him. He's not a rah-rah guy. He's not always looking to be the center of attention, but when he speaks, people listen. Guys know that he puts in the work. Guys know that he lays it on the line. And I think when you're a guy that puts in the work and you lay it on the line, guys respond. And so that's kind of what we told him the other day. I was like, man, when you feel the energy dip, or you feel like guys aren't focused, or we're not in a good, man, step up and say something. Take ownership. This is your team. This is your last shot. So I think he's embraced that as well.
When talking about Kamari Anderson and bringing him into the group and the fold, and obviously being a former SEC guy, what did you make of him and the scouting coming into him coming to ASU, and how has he kind of progressed as a player here so far?
I mean, we did a lot of due diligence, when we saw him in the portal. Luckily was connected to several people, his high school coach, people that were at Kentucky with him, and got really good feedback. The things that we saw on film in a limited sample size, I thought really fit like our prototype of what we were looking for. And then everything you heard about the kid, like there was no red flags. So when we got him here, we only loved him that much more. Since he's been here, he's only elevated his standing as far as on and off the field. He just does things the right way. He's exactly what we're looking for. He's a culture piece, and he's super talented. And I think the sky's the limit for him to have the year to be able to come in and learn from Shaman. I think the things that Shaman does really well are the things that if Kamari makes that a skill and makes that an asset, he can really take his game to a different level, because the way he runs, his ball skills, he's willing, he's physical, and so just now learning that technique and some of the things that Shaman does so well in the run game and pass protections, I think Kamari's really embraced that, and he's elevated himself. He's elevated our room too. Those other guys, they had to show up and work every day. So.
And talking about Cameron Harpool as well, a guy that you've mentioned, like getting trust of coaching staff over time and being a grower in your guys' system. What have you made his performance in fall camp and how he's been able to kind of
he had a great spring. I thought he took a huge step. We could tell a difference in his body when he came back. when we came back and started spring, he gained weight, he lost fat, he added speed. Like, he just transformed his body. He put a lot of work into it. Very subtle, but those little subtle differences, I think, allowed him to stay on the field longer, not gas out quite as fast, a little bit more explosive, getting off the line of scrimmage and firing off the ball. I thought he's had a great spring, and he's taken another step forward this fall. He's a guy that we trust. I trust at any situation, any moment, in any position, like whether it's in the run game, it's in protections, it's running routes. He's real savvy. He's got really good chemistry with Sam. They're roommates, and those guys have put in a lot of work together in the offseason. So you can see that. And yeah, Harp's a guy that he's earned. Like, you got some guys that have to come in and earn it. He's earned it, and he's earned that trust and respect of his teammates and his coaches.
Do you know, like, around how much weight he actually did gain? Or I know you said you lost some fat, so he might have been at a pretty similar point.
I think he put on a good 5-6 pounds, but he lowered his lean skeletal mass went way up, but his actual body fat went way down. So he did a good job. It's hard. You get to a certain point, like certain athletes, their ceiling caps out a little bit quicker. So he had less room for drastic change, but he made these little small percentages of change in different areas that have when you combine them together, have made a huge difference.
And then with AJ, obviously being a super talented freshman, you guys have brought in, and you've seen flashes of him kind of grow and as a player. What have you made of his development so far, and the things he's kind of gotten better at over time?
Yeah, I mean, flexing out and stretching the field vertically and catching balls on the seam, he's been doing that since he was probably 9 years old. So for us, I don't want AJ to just be a gadget guy. I don't want him to be a big receiver that flexes out and is a red zone target. I want him to be a complete tight end. And so when he got here, it was like he had two left feet, putting his hand down and cutting off the C gap and blocking frontside duo was foreign. It was like speaking a different language. So from where he started to where he's at now, he's come a tremendously long way. He's still got a really long way to go to become that complete tight end. But the one thing that I've been proud of him with, he's super coachable. He doesn't take anything personal. He shows up every day to work. I can